Prior to Prohibition, gangs thrived off of illegal activities such as gambling and prostitution. Gambling is an example of a business that was run and regulated by gangsters with the intent of earning significant profits. Gambling typically appeared in the forms of roulette, craps, various card games, and perhaps most popularly, betting on horse races. The appeal to the gangster of managing gambling operations, which were often disguised as pool halls, is partly due to the illegality of gambling at the time, and also because the demand for such opportunities were present across the big cities of America. In the big cities of America, gangsters also created, operated, and managed hundreds of whorehouses, which often had the false front of being a roadhouse, saloon, or resort. As suggested in Farrell's book Stud's Lonigan, these were a common part of life for many. This aspect of organized crime was also heavily dependent on affiliations and alliances between the gangster, politician, and police officer. Business and the amount of profit received through prostitution operations fluctuated as different mayors came and passed, for some could be bought out and others could not. Other markets that organized criminals were involved with before the start of Prohibition included robbery, hijacking, and contract killing. These illegal activities were not as profitable as gambling and prostitution and were generally side products of maintaining those rackets rather than business in and of themselves.
Go out there and get me some money. This guy's behind me. Okay. You, sale? How much?
Boss says at least 8.
Alright, let's go. Game's blackjack. You know the rules.
Get over here. Pour us a drink, cutie pie.
Can I offer all of you a drink?
Sure thing. Rocks, just how I like it.
Everybody flip.
Looks like you lost.
Looks like you lost. Pay up.
My boss doesn't pay me till next week.
You don't have the money?
I'll get it to you next week, though.
Hand me the gun, Vin.
No, you don't have to do that.
Hand me the gun, Vin.
I'll get it to you next week.
got
Stop,
the money?
please. I have a wife and I have kids. Please don't.
The rise of gangs in America can be largely contributed to Prohibition. Prohibition has its roots from the resurgence of the temperance movement in the late 1800s. The Women's Crusade of 1873 to 74 was a culmination across the United States of many years of women taking direct action against alcohol and saloons. The crusade sought to persuade saloon keepers to destroy their beverages, close their doors, and enter some other line of business. Some people, such as the Carrier Nation and Francis E. Willard, were crucial in the fight for Prohibition. Groups such as the Anti-Saloon League also made huge steps to ban alcohol, and their efforts seemed to be making a huge difference. By 1916, 19 states had banned the sale and distribution of liquor. Many women supported Prohibition because of its detrimental effects on men. They hoped to reduce domestic violence.
Honey, I'm home! Ah, there you are, baby. Ah, how are you?
You need to stop coming home drunk.
I'm not drunk.
They need to do something about this. The government needs to do something about about this. I can't have this. My husband has gone nuts.
In January 1917, the 65th Congress convened, in which the Dries outnumbered the Wets by 140 to 64 in the Democratic Party and 138 to 62 among the Republicans. A resolution calling for a constitutional amendment to accomplish nationwide prohibition was introduced in Congress and passed by both houses in December 1917. By January 16, 1919, the amendment had been ratified by 36 of the 48 states. Eventually, only 2 of those states, Connecticut and Rhode Island, failed to ratify it. On October 28, 1919, the amendment was implemented by the Volstead Act. While it was the 18th Amendment that established prohibition, it was the Volstead Act, passed on October 20, 1919, that clarified the law. The Volstead Act stated that beer, wine, or other intoxicating malt or vinous liquors meant any beverage that
Was over 0.5% alcohol by volume would now be illegal.
The act also stated that owning any item designed to manufacture alcohol was illegal and set specific fines and jail sentences for violating prohibition. President Woodrow Wilson vetoed that bill, but the House of Representatives immediately voted to override the veto, and the Senate did the same the next day. Prohibition was now official.
This is all the legislation for the 18th Amendment of Prohibition.
Let me see this. 18th Amendment. Wow, the temperance movement really has come a long way since the 1830s. I feel the American people really won't be happy with this, though. I really don't know what to do.
Wow, it's just a long day at work today. I just don't want to come up with someplace to be at the local bar.
Dude, I need to relax.
Yeah, I know what you're saying.
Let's go grab some liquor.
Yeah.
Sorry, boys, we're closed. Why? 18th Amendment, prohibition, government shutting us down.
Are you serious?
Are they even allowed to do that? I don't know, man. My business, though. I don't know what I'm gonna do. How am I gonna provide for my family?
How are we gonna get drunk?
I don't know, man. Good luck with that.
This is freaking insane. Where the hell am I supposed to get some liquor?
Hey, boss, you hear the news?
What news?
The 18th Amendment.
18th Amendment. What's this 18th Amendment?
It's the prohibition of alcohol and liquor.
What does that mean, Vin? What does that
It
mean?
means the feds, they can get us for this now, for drinking alcohol.
Drinking alcohol. You know the freaking feds can kiss my ass for all I care.
The onset of Prohibition established a setting that could be taken advantage of by organized criminals to the extent of leading to a revolution of crime to higher levels of complexity and organization. Additionally, all the experience gained by years of struggle against reformers and concealed agreements with politicians was brought into service in organizing the production and distribution of beer and whiskey. Thus, gangsters' involvement with the business of gambling and prostitution provided them with the skills and connections necessary to successfully exploit prohibition, and served as a training ground for such a large-scale activity. A new breed of gangster arose during this period. These people took notice of the amazingly high level of demand for alcohol within society and the extremely limited avenues of supply to the average citizen. With this imbalance of supply and demand, gangsters saw profit. Al Capone in Chicago is one of the most famous gangsters of this time period. These gangsters would hire men to smuggle in rum from the Caribbean, rum runners, or hijack whiskey from Canada and bring it into the U.S. Others would buy large quantities of liquor made in homemade stills such as bathtub gins. The gangsters would then open up secret bars known as speakeasies for people to come in, drink, and socialize.
Speakeasies became very popular amongst people that lived in cities. One statistic that shows the overwhelming growth of speakeasies is for the city of Detroit. In 1918, before Prohibition, Detroit had 2,334 liquor-serving establishments. During the height of Prohibition, 1925, Detroit had 15,000 establishments that served alcohol.
You know, Vin, I think I have an idea. We've been selling prostitutes and gambling this whole entire time. Feds haven't got us for that. You know, why not create a black market for alcohol? Give the people what they want.
Boss, think you're onto something.
We can make some serious profit, Vin.
Let's drink to that.
What are you doing over there, Vin?
Boss, check it out. I found a new mass production of liquor.
This is nice. This is nice. What do you call it?
Bathtub gin. Top of the line liquor, cheap as hell.
Nice.
Perfect for the underground market. We can sell this to people like that.
Nice. I like it, Vin. Good stuff, Vin.
Reverend Billy Sunday said at the beginning of Prohibition, "The reign of tears is over. The slums will soon be a memory. We will turn our prisons into factories and our jails into storehouses and corn cribs. Men will walk upright now, women will smile, and children will laugh. Hell will be forever for rent." Many people believed and hoped that Prohibition would make that quote true. However, as they watched and waited, they realized that nothing was improved, and somehow things had gotten worse. As the perfect world promised by the temperance movement failed to materialize, more people joined the fight to bring back liquor. The anti-prohibition movement gained strength as the 1920s progressed, often stating that the question of alcohol consumption was a local issue and not something that should be in the Constitution. Also, organized crime was causing lots of violence throughout the big cities. Most notably was the Valentine's Day Massacre on February 14, 1929, led by Al Capone in Chicago. Additionally, the stock market crashed in 1929, and the beginning of the Great Depression started changing people's opinions. People needed jobs. The government needed money. Making alcohol legal again would open up many new jobs for citizens and additional sales taxes for the government. On December 5, 1933, the 21st Amendment to the U.S. Constitution was ratified by President Franklin Delano Roosevelt. The 21st Amendment repealed the 18th Amendment, making alcohol once again legal. This was the first and only time in U.S. history that an amendment has been repealed.
Man, this 18th Amendment has been a complete disaster. Gangs are taking over cities, bullying has become a huge underground market, and the people just hate it. Ugh, I don't know what I've done.